Hello, welcome to another edition of DBE TV News. You can watch this bulletin on the DBE TV News YouTube channel, the Department of Basic Education's YouTube channel, and on OpenView channel 122. I am Tsehohajo Moagi. In our top stories, Basic Education Minister says no teacher will be retrenched amid budget cuts concerns. The Western Cape Education Department receives training on the BELA Act implementation. The department says it is all systems go for the National Senior Certificate exams. And Gauteng parents start receiving placement communication for learners in grade 1 and 8. Basic Education Minister Sibuwe Gwagube says no teacher will be retrenched despite the steep budget cuts the sector and country is currently facing. Gwagube met with all 9 provincial MECs regarding the financial strain and has instructed the top leaders to ensure that no teacher loses their job due to the current constraints and thus protecting the quality of learning and teaching in all schools. There have been concerns about the possibility of at least 2,400 teachers losing their posts in the Western Cape alone, but the minister says this will lead to dire circumstances for learners.
So several provinces have preserved the same basket of posts for the past 3 academic years, despite the fact that learner numbers are increasing, while other provinces have decreased the posts in the past 3 years. It is important that when we're talking about the retention of posts or decreased posts, we mean that these have been cut in posts and not in warm bodies. So let me explain, meaning that no person or teacher is retrenched, but it means that often posts or vacancies that appear or that come into the system are then not filled.
She added that she will be having a meeting with the finance minister to address these issues and find a long-lasting solution.
In response to the crisis that is facing particularly the education sector, I have convened 2 special meetings of the Council of Education Ministers. These meetings have brought together MECs from across the country, and we've conducted a thorough analysis of the budget challenges that each and every province faces. For the first time in a decade, we now have a clearer picture of where the most significant budget pressures are and how do we engage Treasury to try and buttress those. And so as a result, I have also requested an urgent meeting with the Minister of Finance to discuss the matter further. I am grateful to Minister Godongwana for his cooperation and support on this important matter.
Ensuring a reading culture in one's own language continues to be a priority for the department, and as such, a Heritage Day event to celebrate languages was held to encourage learners and teachers to read in their mother tongue. This as the Department of Basic Education prepares to roll out mother tongue-based bilingual education next year, at least up to the end of primary school.
The Constitution, and ours is a very progressive Constitution. The Constitution is very clear that it guarantees us the right to education in one's mother tongue, and yet for too many children, that constitutional right has not been realized. 30 years into our democracy, we are yet to see children accessing quality education in their mother tongue. But why is this important? So people will often say, why is it important that a child learns maths or science or biology in their mother tongue? Because this is not how the world works. The reason why it's important is because when we talk about the literacy crisis in South Africa, we are talking about it very much divorced from the fact that the solution for the literacy crisis in South Africa is actually homegrown. It is one that exists here. It's one of those things where we don't have to borrow the solution from other parts of the world. The solution exists within our borders. And the solution is simple. We know what the science tells us. The science tells us that if children are able to learn in their mother tongue, or at least in one of the languages that they learn in is their mother tongue, for several years into their education, their cognitive ability improves significantly and they are able to achieve a lot more than they currently are.
Various organizations such as TAQA also attended the event to promote the work and books they have in different languages. The organization says they want to help build a world in which young African children understand their culture and history and are proud of their heritage and themselves.
SATA is a digital library for children's audio-video books, available in all South African official spoken languages. The main idea is to improve the literacy in the country and also to create a love for our home and mother tongue languages. The idea is to eventually get into the education space and have our books on there because we believe in the power of storytelling, and through storytelling, children are able to learn languages better, but not just their mother tongues, but also a second language better, according to research.
The Western Cape Education Department has received practical guidelines and training on how to implement the Basic Education Laws Amendment Act. This follows the signing of the then bill into law by President Cyril Ramaphosa at the Union Buildings, despite some criticism from some members of the Government of National Unity and civil society organizations. President Ramaphosa explained what the Act now seeks to do within the basic education sector and how it will improve the lives of all learners.
Education must be the instrument through which we uplift our nation. It must be the instrument through which we overcome poverty, inequality, and underdevelopment. Despite the progress that has been made, there are challenges in basic education that hinder our progress. We have seen cases of learners being denied admission to schools because of their language policies. We have had cases of children not being allowed back to school or to sit exams because their parents cannot pay the school fees. We have also seen great disparities in norms and standards, in governance and in access to resources that should enable our education to operate at the optimum level. The Basic Education Laws Amendment Bill seeks to address these and many other challenges.
Although the bill has been signed, President Ramaphosa has delayed the implementation of clauses 4 and 5.
In the spirit of cooperation and meaningful engagement, I cannot say no to engagement even at this late hour. I cannot say that. I have to say, if you do believe that these challenges can be resolved, I am going to do the following. I am going to sign the bill to give a clear message to the people of South Africa that we are proceeding with the transformation of our education system. However, as president, I'm prepared to open a window for consultation for a limited period on 2 clauses. And I've therefore decided that having signed the bill must now proceed to be implemented, and I'm glad that the Minister of Basic Education has clearly said that once signed, this becomes the law of the Republic, and the department, meaning herself, the Deputy Minister, and the department will go ahead and implement. The date of implementation, of course, the commencement to implement is a date that needs to be set. So implementation on signing should start immediately. However, I have said as president, I am willing to allow those who do believe that a solution will be found to the two clauses that they believe they have solutions for, to give them the opportunity. So I've decided to delay the implementation for clauses 4 and 5 of the bill by a period of 3 months.
Meanwhile, Deputy Minister Dr. Regina Mhaule emphasized that the Act seeks to ensure there is transformation in the sector.
The Basic Education Law Amendment Act amends certain sections of the South African Schools Act of 1996 to respond to administrative challenges facing our schools and to continue with the transformation agenda of our education system. It is not a wholesale bill that covers all aspects of the sector. It focuses mainly on the administrative processes of the department and schools. The Act responds to the current needs in terms of the changing demographics of our communities and findings by the courts of the country. That's why, among other things, President, is to introduce grade R to schools, to be a formal grade. But currently, as we speak, grade R is in the schools already, but is not enforced by any law in the country. So this bill seeks to enforce that grade R be compulsory.
She added that the right to equal education must be priority, and that is what the Act seeks to do.
The department has a responsibility to align the legislation that governs the delivery of education services with the constitution of the country, whether it is public, independent, and homeschooling. The right to equitable education must be protected at all costs. Transformation has never been easy. Difficult as it is, it must be done to ensure a better future for all our children in the country.
There are more candidates who will sit for this year's National Senior Certificate exams compared to last year. But despite this, the Department of Basic Education says it is ready to administer the final examinations. Officials from the department, led by Minister Siphiwe Kwagube, briefed Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Basic Education on the state of readiness for the exams, which begin on the 21st of October. Chief Director for National Assessment and Public Examinations, Dr. Rufus Polia, reported that there were over 700,000 full-time candidates enrolled for NSC exams this year, which is 8,400 more than in 2023.
When it comes to exam, our heads of department make sure that they pull in the appropriate resources from other directorates to support the management of exam. These are the final dates. The big day will be the 15th of January when our minister will announce the results, and then 16th of January when each candidate will receive his result. Barring all of this, given the fact that we are confident we manage the risk.
KwaZulu-Natal Education MEC Sipho Hlomuka has officially opened and handed over Dr. J.L. Dube High School in KwaMashu. The school has been completely refurbished with new buildings that feature 32 classrooms, a media room, computer room, science laboratory, a nutrition room, and administration block. Hlomuka has thanked Cotton On for their generous donation, which includes fencing, and says he hopes this will protect the school from possible vandalism and intrusion. And in a bid to leave no child behind, the department says the new school will see the ordinary black child receiving world-class tuition in the KwaMashu area. The MEC went on to urge the school governing body, community, learners and teachers to look after the school and ensure it is always well taken care of. Stay tuned. When we return, we find out more about how to apply for the Funza Lushaka bursary in the Free State.
Are you moving house or office? Need a reliable and professional company to assist? Look no further. SATA Logistics is the one for you. With over 5 years' experience in home and office removals, SATA Logistics operates throughout South Africa and promises to transport your belongings carefully with ease and proficiency at an affordable price. Contact SATA Logistics today. Call 071-950-1148 for more information. Alternatively, send an email on info@satewagroup.com. SATA Logistics, moving goods safely from point A to B.
Welcome back. The Gauteng Education Department is urging parents to accept or provisionally accept the placement of learners to schools they applied for within 7 days. The placement process got underway on the 16th of September and will continue until the end of the year to ensure all learners are placed. MEC Matume Chilwane says parents and guardians with complete applications for grades 1 and or 8 will receive placement offers via SMS notifications sent to the cell phone numbers provided when applications were registered.
If you don't accept within those 7 days, the child is automatically placed at that school. So that's why we're urging parents to go tomorrow, go log in and check the placement offer. As we had said in the last press conference, we indicated that we're sitting at 828,364 applications. These applications, out of this, we had 353,409 for grade 1, 474,955 for grade 8. And unique application. So now, the application system, as you apply, is then registered as an application. But now, unique application now is individuals, the child. So from the unique application, we are sitting at 344,890 unique applications.
He also detailed that there are some high-pressure areas in the province which they need to take into consideration when placing learners.
I have to say that our system, we've got capacity to place 403,446. But this number seems that as if we can place everyone. Of course, the spaces, this is the space that we have. But these spaces are not where people are in some instances. So that's where the challenge is. So these are areas where there's no pressure at all. But we have pressure areas. And the challenge with the pressure areas is because of the developments in those areas. Back then, the yards were single households with a yard. People sold their houses, now they're building high-rise buildings. So where you used to have, let's say, 8 families, we are sitting with 200 or 300 families because it's flat. So they are bringing the kids. That's why we have pressure areas such as those. So those are some of the challenges. So in those pressure areas, we still have the pressure areas, extreme pressure areas, but we're working around the clock to ensure that we are able to create enough space to place the learners. But we will place all the learners eventually.
Meanwhile, in the Northwest, MEC Viola Mutsumi is urging parents and guardians who have not yet applied for the 2025 academic year to do so before the final registration deadline on the 30th of September. The department will begin the placement process for all learners on the waiting list after the closing date. Mutsumi has also emphasized the importance of registering learners with accredited schools within their radius, a way the department says will assist parents to avoid falling victim to bogus institutions. She added that early registration helps to plan more effectively and ensures that no child is left behind. To ensure learners can read for meaning in at least one language in grade 1, they must be in early childhood development centers as early as possible. This is word from the Minister of Basic Education, Siviwe Gwachube. She was speaking during her learning and listening tour in Limpopo, the second province she has visited so far. Gwachube was joined by Deputy Minister Dr. Regina Mhaule, Director General Matanzima Mweli, and Limpopo Education MEC Mabungu Lirule Ramakhanya. The tour is part of the Minister's nationwide initiative to gain a deeper understanding of the education sector across all 9 provinces, with a particular focus on identifying the unique challenges, opportunities, ambitions, and priorities that each provincial education sector faces.
We don't yet have a fully funded and fully pledged allocation for what grade R would cost the fiscus. We know from the information that we've received that we are looking at just over 17 billion rand that it would cost, both from an infrastructure point of view, but also from a curriculum rollout point of view, to roll out grade R fully across the country. So of course this is a problem, but it's not an insurmountable problem. It's, as the DM has indicated, this is the direction that we need to move. If we are going to improve literacy in South Africa, then we're going to have to start making sure that foundational learning is strong. And so how do we start foundational learning that is strong? Is to start right at the beginning.
making sure that you are targeting kids as early as 4 and 5 years old. By the time they get to grade 1, they need to be able to already read for meaning in one language or another. So this is where we need to go. Yes, of course, money is a problem. I mean, we're looking at just under 20 billion rand. And so that is why when we talk about planning and plans, those plans have to be matched with commitment from Treasury about how we're going to roll this out. And this has been obviously the tension between how do we roll out grade R and how do we fund it. But we haven't stopped because we don't have money. There has been some allocation, and so in some schools, as the Deputy Minister says, some schools have already started with grade R. Some schools, of course, have not been able to because of infrastructure issues. So we haven't stopped because we were waiting for legislation or we are waiting for money. We are making sure that this is a progressive realization of this of this access.
The Deputy Minister explained how qualified teachers will be paid with the implementation of the BELA Act.
Now, the Act allows us the system for uniformity, because the payment of teachers, some were paid by SGBs, some were paid by whatever. At schools, I'm talking about school, I'm not talking about centers, because at the centers is only the 0 to 4. So, but the grade R, that is at school, and the teachers that are qualified, if there is a post that caters for them, they were paid as fully qualified teachers. That's why there was a noise that some are paid, some are not paid. So the BELA Act now calls for us to reprioritize, not necessarily just running to Treasury to say, what if Treasury does not give you? If Treasury does not give us, we'll prioritize internally to say all our teachers qualified, suitably qualified teachers of grade R are going to be paid. Then we are uniform in all 9 provinces in the country.
The Free State Education Department is encouraging all unemployed youth under 30 years who have passed matric to apply for the Funza Lushaka bursary. This bursary program aims to promote teaching as a profession and strives to equip the right people for teaching in public schools. It also enables eligible candidates to complete a full teaching qualification in an area of national priority.
Here are the steps that you should be following. First of all, you need to apply for admission in one of the 24 universities in South Africa to study for BA degrees, specializing in the priorities, the subjects that are listed for the Free State. We will mention them later. The second step is that you need to complete application screening form by going to this link where you'll be filling in all your information just to screen you, to check whether you are qualified to be one of the teachers and you are able to go and do the priority subject that we are going to talk about later. The third step, it is to complete Funza Lushaka application form at this link, and be mindful that this link is not yet opened, but it will only start opening on the 1st of October 2024. This implies that for the completion of the screening, you can start doing it now, but with the Funza Lushaka bursary application, you only start doing it in October, the 1st of October. What are our priority subjects as the Free State? As a Free State, we are looking for teachers that are going to assist and teach our learners in foundation phase. And we are looking for those teachers that will be doing the South African languages, that is your Sesotho, isiZulu, Setswana, or including Afrikaans, because we've got a district that is specializing in mother tongue. Their mother tongue is Afrikaans. We also have coding and robotics and life skills. And also for the intermediate phase, we are also looking for those subjects, South African language subjects, as well as coding and robotics. And as a Free State, we are mainly focusing and wanting teachers who are going to specialize in foundation phase as well as intermediate phase. But if one is interested in senior phase as well as FET, please, we are looking for those teachers that will be doing technical subjects, focus, like agricultural sciences, electrical technology, your computer application technology, or even the marine science, the marine subject, or coding and robotics. So those are the subjects that we are looking for, the technical subject for senior phase and FET subject. But remember, I said our focus is for teachers that are going to specialize in foundation phase as well as intermediate phase.
The Department of Higher Education is encouraging eligible South Africans to apply for the National Student Financial Aid Scheme bursary or loan. The applications portal is officially open to all South African citizens and permanent residents with a combined household income of not more than 350,000 rand. For persons living with disabilities, the combined household income is kept at 600,000 rand per annum. Visit their website to find out more. Home Affairs offices throughout the country will be operating on Saturdays from 21 September until the 12th of October for 5 hours. The department says matriculants and learners will be prioritized during this period to get their temporary ID certificates, IDs collection, and for application services in order for them to write their final exams. Offices will open from 8 to 1 p.m. Minister Dr. Leon Schreiber says the initiative is specifically aimed to enable matriculants to write their exams, which is the first step towards economic empowerment of young people. He has encouraged matriculants who are waiting for their IDs along with their parents to make their way to the nearest Home Affairs or where they applied. The initiative has been welcomed by the Minister of Basic Education. The Department of Basic Education and Home Affairs signed an intergovernmental protocol in 2010, which was renewed in 2023. And through the agreement, learners in grade 12 will receive preferential treatment in preparation for their final exams. That's how we end this bulletin on the DBE TV News YouTube channel, the Department of Basic Education's YouTube channel, and on OpenView channel 122. Remember to send through your stories or comments by contacting us on our X page handle at DBE TV News and on Facebook, DBE TV News. Before we go, the exam season is indeed upon us. If you are in matric, prepare well for your exams. Your future is in your hands. Thank you for watching.